Hello there, this is Dr. P coming to you again for another episode of How Food Works, and I'm today going to talk to you about hemp and cannabis. I get questions every day, every week about hemp-derived products, cannabis, recreational cannabis, medical marijuana. What the heck does it all mean? And today, in the next 10 minutes, we are going to clean that up just as much as humanly possible. Okay, so the first thing to know is that cannabis is 100% illegal at the federal level. All right, I know things changed in the Farm Bill, all right, for hemp, and there's a lot of what Mitch McConnell did that changed stuff in the Farm Bill. However, that being said, from the FDA's perspective, it's still illegal. So I just want to preface it with that. All right, so there are lots of different things that we talk about when we talk about hemp and we talk about medical marijuana. Okay, so first thing I want to clear up is that cannabis encompasses both of them. Marijuana is a type of cannabis. Hemp is a type of cannabis. Hemp and marijuana are not interchangeable. Okay, so let's just get that clear. I'm talking about both of those right now because I'm specifically not talking about industrialized hemp. Okay, that's a completely different discussion, very important from an agricultural standpoint, but not what we're covering right here. So here's how all of this works. All right, and this is actually how all food works. But the thing is that we have in our food system kind of the way we divide things up. We divide things up into primary production, then value-added production, then distribution, and then retail. Okay, so primary production in hemp and marijuana is the growing of the plants. We grow plants inside, we grow plants outside. If you are, growing cannabis, in any form, could you please try not to destroy the environment while you're doing it, because that's a super big problem. Just because we are like new age and doing things in a new legal realm doesn't mean that pesticides, rodenticides, herbicides are not all epically important conversations for us to be having. Okay, so if you are not, in fact, growing your own product, are you having conversations with the people who are about how they use pesticides, rodenticides, and herbicides? How are they testing for it? All that stuff needs to be tested for what we call residues. Residues are illegal. Okay, they're illegal. You've got to use them. They've got withdrawal times, just like any other chemical substance. When we use antibiotics in an animal, before we send that animal to slaughter, we have to make sure that withdrawal times are they stand by their withdrawal times. Like you have, I don't know remember any off the top of my head, but pesticides and herbicides specifically need to have withdrawal times. They need to be applied to fields when the prevailing winds are below a certain number of miles per hour, or they risk contaminating other crops. Okay, so are you having those conversations with the people who are growing hemp that you are buying it from? Next conversation that I need you to have, I need you to ask them, how are they testing their product? Is their laboratory, write this one down, 17025 accredited? Okay, laboratories need to be 17025 accredited. They need to, write this one down too, validate to the matrix. If you have not validated to your hemp or marijuana matrix, then the test isn't, well, valid. That's why we validate to the matrix, right? Okay, so the test, it's not just how you grow, it's how you test. And we're having incredible problems because what happens when people are testing, what does everybody care about? The level of THC, the level of CBD, okay? That's the active, two of the active things that are in our cannabis products. Okay, and so of course hemp has, what is it, less than 0.3% THC or something like that, and very, very high levels of CBD. All right, and marijuana can have, higher levels of THC. But I will tell you, I've seen products and I've seen advertisements where the laboratories say, we'll get you the highest THC you can, because that's what people are buying because they really want to get stoned. Okay, whatever. That's not where the market is growing. I will tell you that. The market is growing with moms who have sick kids. The market is growing with baby boomers who hurt. And I assure you, they are not trying to get stoned. Okay? By and large, alcohol is their drug of choice, and they are using cannabis to alleviate problems. All right? So know your market. Make sure your product is solving a problem in the marketplace. Okay? So over in primary production, we do something called good agricultural practices and good harvesting practices. This means that we treat our crops appropriately, like somebody's gonna consume what comes out of the field, all right? There are multiple different ways that we do this. These good agricultural practices are a set of standards that the USDA has for conventional crops, all right? Another thing to consider is the produce rule, which is what the FDA has for other sorts, for other crops regulated by the FDA. GAP is a voluntary program in marijuana and hemp. Produce safety also completely voluntary. But I will tell you, if you are harvesting product and people are smoking it, you have much more in common with leafy green vegetables than you think. Okay, so maybe try taking a look at those rules and seeing how they apply to your fields, because it's really, really important. Because what we need is quality product to get from primary production, so the grow, to value-added processing or secondary production. So now there can be multiple kinds of secondary production. We have extraction, because we've got to get the stuff out, okay? And then we take the stuff that we get out and we turn it into tinctures and salves and edibles and that sort of thing. Those actions, like what happens in secondary production and value-added processing, is all covered by something called good manufacturing practices. Now, whether or not your state mandates it, they're called good practices for a reason, and it's because they help you run a better business. If you're wondering what that looks like, type the word grow in the comments and I will get in touch with you and we can talk about how I can help your company get up to speed on good manufacturing practices or good agricultural practices and produce safety rule and stuff like that. That's what I do for a living, folks. And so anyway, what you need to do then is look at your GMPs and look at how you are making sure that you are controlling for physical, chemical, and microbial hazards in your foods, all right? Your GMPs, good manufacturing practices, create the conditions to create safe food. There are other things that we do, okay, like preventive controls planning, like HACCP planning, okay, to make sure we are controlling for chemical, physical, and microbial things that can go wrong with our food. And here is my plate. As many of you know, I am a veteran. Okay, I am also a veterinarian, so I'm a vet squared. I have friends who are functioning members of society because of medical marijuana. They deserve safe product. If they're allergic to wheat, they deserve to know that their labels are accurate and their brownies are actually gluten-free. And it's not some stoner kid just making it up. All right? They deserve product that's free of salmonella. They deserve product that's free of botulism. These are important topics to discuss, and these are important practices to put into place because people's lives are on the line. This is meaningful work that we do, and my plea to you is approach it like it means something. If you need help with that, that's what we're here for. Just type grow in the comments section and we'll get in touch with you. That's our episode for today. My 10 minutes is almost up. Everybody have a great day. Thanks.